Hey friends, Stephen Michael Miller here, and it is our morning momentum this morning. So glad to have you here with me. If you're kind of just getting the day started, then I hope that you have a tremendous day. Today, we're going to be talking about utilizing and identifying, well, I guess identifying and then utilizing your talents. And, I think we all have special gifts, special talents. That we can use to enhance our life, to enhance the lives of those around us, to enhance our business opportunities, maybe even to enhance just our family time. But identifying and using these talents is critical, I think, to long-term joy and happiness in the things that we do. I've talked to people all over the world that have told me that they go to work and they hate what they do. They don't enjoy what they do. They don't enjoy their day to day. Maybe they feel like they have to work at a certain job in order to earn a specific income that they want, or whatever. But I believe that those people that really hone in and focus in on what where their talents are people that have greater joy and greater happiness. Also, people that typically will make a greater impact in life. And Michael Jordan said something though that I thought was really important. I'm going to paraphrase this. I don't remember the exact quote, but he said something to the effect of, everybody has talent, but ability comes through the constant use of that talent, practice of that talent. And so having the talent isn't good enough. You have to use that talent over and over and over again. You have to really put it into practice and put it into play, because the more you do so, the better you're going to get at it. I want to talk about something that I experienced when I was first learning how to speak. And I'm talking about speak professionally. See, I feel like I had a talent and a gift to be up in front of people and to talk and to do those things. And I've done that for years. As a little kid, even in church, I would give talks and I would love it. I may not have been the best at it, but I loved it. And so that's where I found a lot of joy. I will say that, as a lot of people would turn speaking opportunities away, I was kind of the guy that would always want to be called on to speak or to give my opinion or to share a thought or whatever. That was kind of my personality as a kid. And that kept with me as I got into adulthood. Well, when I was building my first business with a few friends of mine in the real estate arena, as we were building that business, I remember we got to the point where we started to do marketing and started to create these events that we were going to do. And when we first started, one of my business partners, he was going to be the main speaker for our very first event and kind of present the information. And my job was to introduce him. And I've known, my friend for a long time, for many, many years. And so it was my job just to introduce him. And although I felt like I was normally fairly comfortable up in front of a crowd, I feel like I could hold myself pretty well. I remember that first time I got up to speak, professionally, as for my company or for the business, and I was unbelievably nervous, and my knees were kind of like knocking together, and my voice was fluctuating and changing and shifting, and it was not a good experience. As a matter of fact, even though I felt like I had some talent and some gift in that area, I hadn't really practiced at all. I felt like, he gave me his kind of bio that he wanted me to memorize. And I looked it over. I was like, oh, I can do this. I got this. And when I got up, I completely botched it. Like I just did a really horrible job. Well, the neat thing about that scenario for me is because I felt like was an area that I was talented in or gifted in. I just hadn't honed my ability yet. I knew that I didn't want to quit. I knew that I wanted to keep on going. And so I sat with my business partners and they said, Stephen, that was horrible. I mean, I don't remember their exact words, but it was something to the effect of that was not good. That was really bad. And I looked at them and I said, I know it wasn't very good, but I need to do it again. And I want to do it again. And so I started to practice over and over and over and really to hone my ability in that talent, in that area where I felt like I had some gift and some talent. And over the next several years, I would do these events and I would present at these events over and over and over again. And we would come back with feedback. And we would continue to practice, and we'd come back with feedback, and I would continue to practice until I got to the point where I literally felt like I could present on almost any topic. Give me a few minutes to prepare. I could present on a topic fairly well, get the point across, simplify the message, and feel really comfortable doing it. Because the truth is if you feel comfortable typically in a presenter situation, if you feel comfortable as a presenter, then normally the crowd will feel fairly comfortable as well. And I got to that point, and it was such a blessing. Uh, and I've had the opportunity now to speak all around the world. I've spoken in different, all around the nation, of course, and in different countries on a variety of different topics. And I've been able to share the stage with some really big names in the industry, and it's been a really fun journey. And it's not over. I enjoy speaking, and we're creating different events with the group that I'm working with now, and I'm really excited about where we're going with that. But at the end of the day, I get to do what I love, because I found an area where I felt like I had some gifts and some talents, and I worked at it. I took time to hone that capability or that ability. See, I believe that Michael Jordan is one of the best NBA basketball players of all time. Uh, and maybe that dates me because I'm talking about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. Whoever you could say. A lot of different names in the basketball arena. But Michael Jordan was one of the best because he had talent. I do believe that. I believe that he had a talent and ability. But beyond that talent and ability, he would practice above and beyond anybody else. He would go to the gym early. He would stay late. He would take more shots than everybody. He would dribble more than everybody. He would work on his passing skills more than anybody. So he did all of these things. Even though he was talented and gifted, he increased his ability because of his desire to practice and put in the work. And so, really, with whatever it is, whatever your gifts and talents are, it's not enough just to have them as gifts and talents. Make sure that you're putting in the work. Make sure that you're putting in the practice, because that practice is what makes all the difference. And that practice sometimes is what takes you through even the harder situations, even when someone else may fail or get stopped and want to quit. You will typically go through because you've put in the work to do that. One other quick experience, for me when I was 15 years old, um, I had some friends that did the fire dance. They did the Samoan fire knife dance. Now, if you've ever seen, maybe Lilo and Stitch, or you've ever been to Hawaii to the Polynesian Cultural Center, you've got these amazing guys who they have this kind of half knife, half stick, and they wrap it with a flammable material, dip it in some white kerosene, and then they'll light it on fire and spin it, put it on their tongue, put it on their feet, and it's a lot of fun to watch. When I was about 15 years old, I had some friends that were doing that. We had this local folk fair that would go on every year, and I would help them in their booth, and I love watching them do this amazing fire knife dance. And I remember at 15, I asked them, "Hey, this was kind of a cultural thing in the Samoan culture," and I said, "Look, I know I'm just a white guy, but would you teach me how to do this dance?" And to my surprise, they said, "Yes, we'll teach you." And this was something where I knew it was going to take effort. I knew it was going to take work. My nature was someone who loved to perform, and that was again what I felt was kind of one of my gifts and talents. But I didn't really have a whole lot of ability in this fire knife dance, and my friends started to teach me for about a year or so. They taught me to how to spin this stick and the proper weighting of it, and how to time it the right way, and throw it in the air and catch it behind your back and do all these different things. And I started to learn how to do all these moves, and I practice and practice and practice every single day for about a year. And I remember one day my friend came to me and said, "Steven, uh, I think you're ready now." And I thought to myself, "What do you mean I'm ready for what?" He said, "I think you're ready to actually light it on fire." Now, this is important. I practiced this dance for a year before I ever even lit it on fire. And it is called the fire dance. And when he said that to me, I had this kind of nervous feeling in my gut. He said, "Look, it's going to be completely different." He said, "But you've practiced the moves, you've practiced it without the fire. Now, when you go to light it with the fire, your body should be able to kick in. And although it's different, and although you may have, fear may come up and some other things may pop up here, you should be able to continue forward and do it. And you'll have to practice it, of course, with fire too. But now you've got some muscle memory, so you can push through some of that fear. And I think that often happens when we're practicing our talents and our abilities. We're sometimes put in situations where those abilities or talents may be put to the test, and it may look a little bit different than it did in practice. But the more that we were practicing, the more that we actually put ourselves into it and allowed ourselves to go through the motions and to practice those talents and those gifts to hone and increase our ability in those areas, the better it will be for us when the true test comes. And the more we'll be able to actually push through. And I remember lighting it on fire for the first time, and yeah, it was different. I had this fire in my face and it was crazy, and it was a completely different feeling. But I was able to go through and do a lot of the moves. And as I continued to practice, even with the fire, I got better and better and better. And I put myself in a situation where I would continue to learn. And eventually I went and we did dances and put on luau's all throughout, kind of the St. Petersburg, Florida area, Tampa Bay area. I got to dance at different yacht clubs and beach resorts and things like that. I remember I got to dance at a private birthday party on an island, and that was a lot of fun. And got paid to do something that I really, really loved and enjoyed, having been able to hone my talents. So the reality is we all have talents. You all have gifts and abilities and talents. Some of us, some of you watching, may spend the time to hone your abilities in those areas, to really improve those abilities, and some of you may not. But my recommendation is for you to today, don't go any further today. Start writing down a list of those things that you're good at. Write a list of your talents and the things that you want to hone and improve, things where you want to spend some time to increase your ability in those specific areas. And then think of ways where you can actually earn a living with those talents and abilities. Napoleon Hill says that that's where some of the true joy comes, is when those people learn to match or mesh what they love to and gifted at with how they earn a living. And I think we're told as kids that we can't do that or we shouldn't be able to do that. But the truth is the happiest people on earth are often those people that are doing what they love and getting paid to do it. And usually, if you're passionate about what you're doing, that passion, it starts to permeate. It shows through, and people love and they recognize that, and they want to cling to that passion. And oftentimes, those are the individuals that are making the most money, that are the most successful, that are the happiest with what they're doing as well. So take your gifts and talents, learn how to use those in everything that you're doing day to day. If you don't feel like you're doing what you love right now, see if there's an area where you can implement your talent and ability in what you're currently doing, and then start to find ways where you can do and use that talent in other areas as well. To find greater joy and greater fulfillment in life. Friends, this is Stephen Michael Miller with your Morning Momentum. Thanks for being on with us. Again, if you haven't yet, I'd love it if you subscribed. If you like this content, please subscribe. And if you have any ideas or comments, I'd love to hear your stories of what you've done in the past and how you have grown your talents and increase your abilities and what you're doing there with that. So please put that in the comment below. Also, ring the bell so you can get notified when new videos come out. They come out every single weekday. Would love to spend that time with you. Thanks so much and have an amazing, amazing morning. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.